One strategy you must consider when launching anything in a new market is the beachhead strategy. Like a lot of other business strategies, this also has its origins in the military. And I found it useful to look at some of these strategies with an example and try and understand the historical context, because that gives you metaphors that you can relate to when you're trying to execute on the strategy. One event that really exemplifies the beachhead strategy is the landing of the Allied troops in Normandy in the June of 1944 as part of World War II. Because this event marked the beginning of the end of World War II in Europe. In 1944, Germany and its allies occupied most of mainland Europe. And if the allies had to defeat Germany, the allies who were led by the British and the Americans had to land troops on mainland Europe, which was under the control of Germany. And Germany had millions of troops on mainland Europe. And allies had to land one ship at a time with troops, equipment and supplies, capture that region, and be able to land more troops if they were to wage a serious war against Germany and defeat Germany. The allies even had a deception campaign by the name Operation Fortitude, the goal of which was to deceive Germany into thinking that the allies were trying to land in either Calais or Norway, whereas the actual landing was planned in Normandy. This essentially ensured that the German troops were protecting other regions while the Allies could land in Normandy in a relatively unprotected area. There is an excellent book by Ben McIntyre by the name Double Cross, which gives into a lot of detail about this deception campaign, which is quite fascinating. In today's world, it is highly unlikely that you'll be able to launch a product in a market with no competition, either direct or indirect. And what you want to keep in mind when launching is that you don't want to take on the incumbents head on, because that can only end in disaster. So the goal really is to find a market which is small enough to win but big enough to matter. So when you're launching your product in a beachhead market, there are three key things to keep in mind. First, why is this market attractive to you? By capturing this market, will you be able to prove your concept? And will a presence in this market will it help you capture adjacent market segments, and so on? And a good metaphor to keep in mind here is is why the Allies chose Normandy. Now, Normandy was on the mainland. It was far enough away from Germany so as not to unwarrant a huge response, but important enough, but close enough to Germany and other critical points such as Paris, Belgium, and so on, that it mattered. Now, the Allies did not choose an island off the coast of France, such as, say, Jersey or Guernsey. The second thing to keep in mind is whether the market is an underserved market. That is, there are customers here who have problems which are not being addressed by the incumbents. Now, in the case of Normandy, it was not really an underserved market. It is just that the Germans were deceived into thinking that they needed to be elsewhere, and there was a moment of underserved market nature in Normandy which the Allies exploited. Now, of course, when you're launching a new product, you may not be able to launch a deception campaign like what the Allies did. But what you want to look for are things like, is it difficult for incumbents to service this market? Or is the nature of this market relatively unattractive to the incumbents? Or are there other factors such as language or seasonality or or culture which makes this market unattractive to the incumbents? And that's the market that you want to target. And last but not the least, are you in a position to service this market? So do you have the right people? Do you have the knowledge? Do you have the right tools to be able to capture customers in this segment, service them, and make your presence felt in that market? Now, in the case of the Allies, they needed to make sure that they had amphibian landing equipment for their first set of landings in Normandy. And once they landed there, the troops had to defeat the minimal German presence there, and also look at setting up ports so that additional ships could land there. And of course, the soldiers, the troops who landed there had to be trained in all of this before they actually made the landing there. Now, if you're looking at launching in a new market and would like to chat about the beachhead strategy, do give me a shout and be happy to set up some time. And if you found this video insightful, do give it a like. Thank you and have a good day.